Everything is conditioning. Everything is training. This idea of conditioning is used in sports. You put your body under a certain condition, in other words, in a certain situation, and the body responds in a certain way. This is true not just of the body, but of course of the mind and of the spirit as well. And you can not only decide to condition your own self, but somebody or something or some systems outside of yourself can similarly condition your mind, body, and spirit. It's interesting to think about. By putting yourself in a situation consistently, your body, mind, and or spirit will adapt. And what's really interesting to think about is that essentially everything that you do affects your mind, body, and spirit. Every day you wake up and you do a certain set of things. These are things that your body expects, your mind anticipates, your spirit either rejects or accepts. You are doing things every day that are conditioning you. They're changing you. Every decision you make and every situation you put yourself in moves you a little bit in some direction. It is remarkable in conditioning, in the sports sense, in the sense of learning a skill, training as it were. It is remarkable how much consistency affects the outcome of this conditioning. This goes back to the idea that I talked about with self-control and discipline. That you can consistently choose to take control over yourself. With consistency, you can program your body, reset your mind, cleanse your soul. With consistency, you become the thing that you are trying to achieve in that situation. If you run every single day as hard as you can, your heart is going to be very well conditioned to be put under that maximal stress. If you constantly put yourself in uncomfortable social situations, you will eventually become familiar with that, and your uncomfortable situation will become a much more comfortable situation. You will therefore have conditioned yourself, even socially. You can do this. As you are putting yourself routinely in these situations, you are pressing yourself like grapes under a press, and you are getting the wine that you wish to get out of it. This is an amazing thing. It is also scary to think that others can condition us, that systems can condition us, media. What we're exposed to every day can condition how we think, how we form our speech, what we think about, what we think is true, what we fear. This goes back again to the idea of the dose dependency that I talked about, because we can choose to not absorb those things. We can choose to not condition ourselves in those ways. Because if we put, again, ourselves in X condition, then we get X result. If we put ourselves in Y condition, we get Y result. So there is no point in putting yourself under a condition that will not yield a beneficial result. This again goes back to forcing ourselves to do the things that are best for ourselves. We can condition ourselves to be better, to be more resilient, to be smarter, to be more emotionally intelligent. We can condition ourselves to not give in to whim. We can condition ourselves to be physically fit. This really is so closely related to this other idea of dose dependence and self-control, because why would we choose not to do these things? And if we choose not to do them, we will simply be conditioned by the things that are happening to us in life. Now, of course, we can't ultimately have absolute control over this. We never will. It's impossible. Couldn't even imagine what life like that would look like. But what we can do is take a certain amount of control, put ourselves in a certain condition, and get a result out. Conditioning is everything. Training is everything. I have so often come upon this idea as somebody who is a guitar teacher now for many, many years. People who simply say, my fingers can't move like that. My brain doesn't work like that. And I often say, do you think my fingers worked like that when I first picked up a guitar? This often gets people thinking, because it wasn't the case, of course. I conditioned myself by putting myself in a situation consistently and changing how my body reacts to it. How far that can take somebody is so undervalued by most people. How far you can push yourself to change yourself, to better yourself, to achieve something. If you just put yourself in that place, you have to put yourself in a pressure cooker. It's not comfortable. But the result you get out is what you have to value more than avoiding that pain. We can condition ourselves to be better.